Today, on Be Something Wonderful, she manifested it all. Money, home, job, travel, and health using this technique. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and these are the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. One of you reached out to share what you have manifested over the last year. Money, job, health, travel, even a baby, right? And you described how you've changed your entire life, your entire reality, your entire identity. And you shared with us how. And I'm going to share that with all of you today. This is what she said. I was someone who had had a lot of miscarriages and also was struggling with money and doubt about my ability to manifest anything. I wanted to share that everything has changed. Wow, what an opening, right? I love the wording she's using here. I was someone who had had a lot of miscarriages. In other words, I'm no longer that version of me. I have redefined myself in this powerful now moment as somebody different from my ideal, who I always wanted and dreamed to be. That's who I am now. And she's no longer that identity that was struggling with money and doubt in her ability to manifest anything. Do you see? Because this was her old story. Here she was, the old story, the old concept and identity, right? That she has a history of miscarriages, that she has a history of struggling with money and not being able to manifest anything. And she created her entire life experience from that story, from those assumptions. No matter how hard she tried to manifest and imagine and assume and affirm a new reality. Right here she is creating in the present moment that identity that has had a lot of miscarriages and struggles with money and doubt. She created a past identity, an idea of who she was, someone that has had miscarriages and struggles with money and doubt. Do you see in that present moment she is that person that has had a lot of miscarriages, creating that identity that had a lot of miscarriages, and then creating an identity in the future that, although she was imagining her new life and identity, continuing to create this identity that has miscarriages and struggles with money and can't manifest anything, even as she imagined and desired that new identity, that new life, trying to manifest and hold on to that outcome, the outcome that I have the baby, that I have money, right? Struggling to hold on to that, struggling to manifest. Look at this. We're going to come back to this. This is her old identity, and she tells the story. Why can she tell the story now? Because it's no longer who she is. She has created a new idea of who she was, who she is, and who she will be from this powerful now moment, right? No longer that one that had miscarriages or the present identity that has had miscarriages and struggles with money, or the one that's struggling to manifest and holding on to outcomes as she tries to imagine that better life. So hold on here, buckle up, because this is big. This is what she said. In the past year, I've been on a month-long trip to Asia, fully paid by someone else. I've lost a huge amount of weight without trying, just shed the weight. I start my dream job in June. I've been given over $250,000 from different sources, just given to her. I've bought a beautiful home, and most happily, hear this miracle, I'm 3 months pregnant. Look at everything she's ever wanted. How is that possible? We're going to share with you her process and what's behind that process. But the first step here that she shares with us, she stopped trying to manifest and gave up desperately holding on to those outcomes that she wanted. right? Because if you're source, if you're the creator, you don't have to hold on to anything. You know it's yours. Moving to that version of her that always manifests and experiences everything she wants as all that is. Defining herself as that creator, where she can imagine it, but now she doesn't have to hold on to anything. Here's what she shares. It's interesting because we hear this a lot. I don't know exactly when or how things shifted for me. Yeah, why is that? Because it's natural. Because you're the process. You're reality. You're the shift. You're all of it. But this is what she did recognize. She says, but I recognize that as soon as I moved from trying to manifest things and desperately holding on to outcomes, being attached to those desires, to those desired outcomes, that everything began to change for me. She does recognize that. Doesn't really know how and when, but knows that it is related to that idea that she redefined herself and redefined who she is. She's not someone that desperately needs to hold on to outcomes. She's not someone that desperately needs to try manifesting. This is powerful. Stay with me. A Course in Miracles said it, hold on to nothing. Why? Because you are everything. Why? Because you are the process. Why? Because you are reality. Why? Because you are the source of everything that you want, desire. Why would you have to hold on to anything? She says this, I even gave up on certain things of sense intended and then received. But remember, you never give up, really give up. What did she really give up? She gave up holding on. And she gave up trying and needing to manifest it. That's what she gave up. It appears like you're giving up on your desires, but she never did. Because desire is your innate urge to know yourself as source. You never have to give those up. Just give up the holding on, give up the trying, give up the needing for it to manifest. Know yourself as everything, as the process, as source, as reality. To desire to be and have everything you want, remember, is innate. It's natural. It's your nature. It's you as I am awareness. What's not natural, while it might seem normal to you, is desperately needing and wanting it to manifest and then doubting that it will. Wow. That's not natural. Right? That's not natural. It might seem normal to you, but that's not natural. I am not is not natural. Not your nature, not reality. Remember, creation's finished. Creation is finished. Neville Goddard, all the spiritual greats talk about that. You're not creating anything. You are already everything in all that is. That's what that means. In other words, you're all potential realities and identities. You're already all that. You're not creating anything. Thinking that you have to do processes to create it creates that idea of trying and needing it to manifest, creates that idea of holding on to outcomes. When you assume you are not that which you desire to be, hear this. When you assume that you're not yet that which you desire to be and that you're trying to manifest it, you filter out all other possibilities, all other realities. You filter out entire worlds through your assumptions. But remember, so when you assume you're not that person you desire to be, you filter out entire worlds where you are that person you desire to be. But when you use that powerful assumption and filter as a filter saying, I am that person I desire to be, then you filter out all other things that say that you're not. That's powerful. You're not creating, you're filtering. Right? This is powerful. Woo! Your physical experience of reality, or in other words, 3D reality or the world, is less than 0.1% of all that is and all that you are. Wow. In other words, I am awareness or ultimate reality. It's less than 0.1% of all that is and all that you are. So when you are focused on, I am not that which I desire to be, by trying to manifest and hold on, you filter out more than 99.9% of all other possibilities, or all that you are, all other quantum possibilities in the quantum field or the field of awareness of being. Same thing. That's the quantum field, the God field, the I am awareness of being. Dr. Joe Dispenza said it best, and I've used this quote in other videos, earlier videos. If an atom is 99.99999% energy and 0.00001% physical substance, in other words, if it's 99.9999% unseen or nothing and 0.00001% something, then I'm actually more nothing than something. In other words, what is that nothing? That no thing is all things. It's all your potential. You're more potential. You're pure potential, right? Pure potential. There's manifested potential, which is that less than 0.1%. And then there's the non-manifested potential, everything else. So why would you have to hold on to anything? So hear this. This is big. So your assumptions, your beliefs, your definitions of who you are in your reality, are filtering out nearly all of who you are as translated through the mechanism of your physical senses. Wow. So your assumptions and beliefs and definitions of who you are in your reality are filtering out nearly all of who you are. 99.99999% as translated through the mechanism of your physical senses, and you're left with that 0.1%. The question is, what is that 0.1% that you are shifting to and manifesting in every moment? What are you focused on? So that's why assuming, affirming, and imagining your wish fulfilled, that you are already that which you desire to be, can be so insanely powerful. It can be really powerful. Because creation is, because not as a process or technique, but not as a process or technique to create and manifest it, but as a filter to focus on that version of you that you prefer. Wow, that's powerful. Trying and struggling and attachment and holding on to an outcome you assume hasn't happened yet, that's when you use those processes to create or manifest something. Well, it's already created and manifested. You are already all realities. So instead it acts as a filter to filter out all realities that are not your preference. Right? That's powerful. Creation's finished. So rather as a filter to filter out all other identities, realities, and possibilities that are quantum possibilities, but not your choice or preference. That's what you're doing when you try and struggle and use those as processes or techniques to make something happen, to manifest something. Because creation's finished. You're already all potential. You're pure potential, already all realities. So they're not processes and techniques to make something happen. That just creates struggle. That creates attachment. That creates that idea that it hasn't happened yet. Do you see? Not as a process or technique to create and manifest it. You're trying and you're struggling and you have this attachment that you're holding on to the idea that it hasn't happened yet. So rather as a filter to filter out all other identities, possibilities that are quantum possibilities, but not your choice or preference. That's the power of these techniques. That's the power of affirming and imagining your wish fulfilled. So rather than use it as a process or technique to manifest or create what's already created, right? Trying and struggling and creating attachment to the idea that it hasn't happened yet. All of those techniques, assuming, imagining, and affirming, are really a filter to keep you focused on what you want, and it filters out all other identities, realities, and possibilities that are not your choice. All other quantum possibilities that are not your preference. Wow. That's powerful. Her filter or technique, and here's what worked for her. So again, that many times through our assumptions, right? Through our assumptions and beliefs and definitions, we create this limited idea of who we are, focusing on that we're not yet that person we desire to be. That assumption then acts as a filter. And it filters out all possibilities where you are that person that you've always desired to be. There are infinite realities, infinite identities of you living the life of your dreams. And so then you try to imagine it, you try to affirm it, you try to assume it. Try to create something that's already there. But that just creates a filter of filtering out all of those possibilities. You assume that it hasn't happened yet, so you try harder, like she did. Struggling to manifest it, holding on to outcomes, filtering out all of those realities where she has the baby, where she is pregnant, where she is traveling, where she does have the money. Finally, when she gave all that up and instead started using her technique to focus on her preference, her desired reality, and filter out all possibilities that are not her preference, she started manifesting the life of her dreams over that year period. Her filter or technique that worked for her was this. I have one technique that seems to work really well for me. Again, the techniques are simply filters. But now, instead of filtering out the realities where you are living your dream life, you're filtering out all realities that are not your preference. And so you're creating the life of your dreams in every moment. I have one technique that seems to work really well for me. I write down in the notes app on my phone what I want. And she uses an example. I want to buy a home before mid-March and have everything I want. And have it be everything I want. Then I delete the note and immediately trust it's done. So this is her process. You can find your process that works for you. Remember, that's just one idea. But it's powerful, and remember, that was her filter. That was her filter, her way to filter out all other possibilities of not having the house, of not having what she wants. And she's only left with the house that she wants and desires. That's the powerful way to use your assumptions, to use your imagination, to use your affirmations. As a filter to focus on that one reality. There are infinite possibilities of that fulfilled reality where you are fulfilled. So here's what happened. My husband and I bought our dream home within less than a week. Less than a week at a crazy low price. Even the real estate agent was shocked that the seller agreed to our initial low offer. Wow, that's powerful. She filtered out all other offers. All other possible realities where the offer was better than theirs. She filtered them out by creating that note on her app and erasing it. That became that desired reality was the only possibility now. That's the true demonstration of processes and techniques. They're not there to create anything or make anything happen. It's already created. You're already all of those realities. You're already all potential. You have simply been filtering out that reality where you're fulfilled, where you have everything that you want. So the way to use techniques and processes is to focus on that preference while you filter out all possibilities of realities where you're not fulfilled. That's what she did. She says, same for getting pregnant. Within a few weeks, I was pregnant. After so many miscarriages, so many complications, it happened so easily and the baby's so strong and healthy. Hear this. Now, I showed you this at the beginning, right? That identity, that old story, creating a past where she had many miscarriages, a present where she still has had many miscarriages and no money, and a future where that's likely to continue as much as that she was imagining and trying to make it happen. All of that trying, all of that effort, holding on to the outcome, right? All that struggle acted as a filter and filtered out that reality where she has the baby, has the house, and has the money. But now, in this new identity, this new assumption and definition of herself, she filters out all other possibilities where she's not fulfilled. They no longer are relevant. And she creates a present where she's never had miscarriages. She creates a past that no longer a past version of her that never struggled with money or miscarriages. She's now in the identity that always had the dream home, that always traveled, that always had money, that always had the baby. It's all right now. You see this. You're creating all of these ideas here and now. That past identity is just an idea that you create in this now moment. She moved to a version of her that the past version always was happy and healthy and never had any miscarriages and always was at the perfect weight and had the money in the house. Wow, that's powerful. The old identity or version of her, I just want to point out, is still part of all that is, right? Her greater identity. And that old version of her served the purpose. It moved her to redefine who she is now, fulfilled and a powerful creator. So this old version, the story she tells, served the purpose for her to redefine herself as this powerful creator right now. Do you see? That's powerful. So, but now, hear this, she has redefined herself, that old identity, that past her no longer belongs to this redefined version of her. That past her, this one here, no longer belongs to this version of her. This is a new past version that makes more space-time sense to who she is now. Wow. This is powerful. So she has redefined herself. That old identity, that past her, no longer belongs to this redefined version of her. Rather, it belongs to the version of her that's still struggling and assuming she's limited, separate, and unfulfilled. It still belongs to this version that never goes away. She's just no longer that version. It's all of who she is. She's no longer identifying with it. She's no longer filtering out those other fulfilled versions and just left with this version. She's now this new person. In this now moment, hear this, she recreated the idea of the past her, who never struggled. That makes more space-time sense and linear sense to who she is now. She created this new idea of who she is, past, present, and future from this now moment. Whew. That's powerful. She manifested it all. The money, the home, the job, travel, health, right? Not lost all of this weight and the baby. Using that method, her method of simply writing a note, right, in her notepad that she has her dream home, or that she's pregnant, or whatever it is, money, or whatever it is, and she just deletes it and accepts it's done from that new identity, knowing, hear this, knowing that she is all potential already, that creation's finished, that she's not creating it, she's not manifesting it, she is the process. She's already that identity. She simply with that technique of writing a note and then deleting it, deleting all other possibilities, filtering out all other realities where she's not fulfilled, with all other realities where she didn't get the dream house, where she didn't get that $250K of money. She filtered all of those out. Those are no longer part of who she is now. It's the one that gets everything that she wants. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, be sure to join us on the Tom Kearin channel. We have a big video that we're going to release on our other YouTube channel at The Tom Kearin. And this coming Sunday, we have our 4th live event of the year, our 4th live stream, where I answer your questions during the event, live, as you ask them. It's going to be a lot of fun. Join us then. With great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.